match is now officially a Judy Bagwell on a forklift match. Let's go!
Broken, thankless, push you down, open.
Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Monday Night Madness. Buddy, it has been a minute since we've recorded one of these, so we should probably remind the people who we are.
I'm Mr. Low-Key Big Hog himself, the Mac Daddy of them all, Trevor Davis. You can find me at DJTRev24.
And I am the Hoochie Daddy, Ethan James. You can find me at Hoochie Daddy EJ on Instagram. Don't go looking for me on Twitter because it don't exist.
You mean X?
Whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't exist. Suck it, Elon. Not my problem.
Exactly.
You know, we knew that it was going to come to this point at some point. We were going to hit that magical episode in Monday Nitro that everybody hates. And you could say, oh, it's got to be a Vince Russo episode. No, Vince Russo was nowhere near this. But my God, do I hate Disco Inferno.
I bet you do.
This episode started off hot. Episode 4 of Monday Nitro started off hot. We had a Rosh Hashanah drop. Bobby Heenan was being fucking Bobby Heenan, which is beautiful. Absolutely love it. And Alex Wright has some of the most underrated entrance music of all time. I love it.
Yeah, I think that was the music before he came out doing the whole dancing gimmick, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I can still kind of remember. It's like,
yeah, this is when he used to come out and he would do his thing around the ring and then he would get in and he would do a backflip off the turnbuckle. No, absolutely loved it. He was fucking, what a phenomenal athlete Alex Wright was. He really would fit well in this time. Like, he would fit that. Anyway, like we said, episode 4 of Nitro. This episode is going to cover episodes 4 and 5 of WCW Monday Nitro. And I'm going to get this out of the way early. Boy, do I really, really, really fucking hate Disco Inferno. Okay, explain this one to me because I'm baffled. He comes out, dancing to the ring. He's got the coiffed hair and he rips off white pants to reveal what? White fucking pants.
it was the 90s. What do you expect?
More than this.
He went from coming out with parachute pants to a smaller version of parachute pants.
I cannot stand, to this day, if you go, hey, what is one redeeming quality about Disco Inferno? I'm going to tell you there's nothing. There's not a single thing. Most people's wrestling careers, even though there's wrestlers I don't really care for, it does not matter. If I didn't like their in-ring work, I can usually find something I like about them. There's not a single thing that I like about Disco Inferno. I like at least with JBL, I can go, hey, he had a wonderful feud with Eddie, and I liked him in the Acolytes when he was with Ron Simmons. Like when it was him and Farouk, cool. His feud with JBL, great. Other than that, do not give a shit about the guy. Disco Inferno, hate the whole fucking thing. Ate it. All of it. With that said, Alex Wright did pick up a win. And if I had to go back and watch this again, I would be a big Alex Wright fan.
Alex Wright was very, very good. Of course, shit end of the stick with creative.
Yep. Yeah, he wasn't a good old boy. He wasn't from Atlanta. It didn't matter. Down south, it didn't matter.
No, he got like I say, he got the shit end of the stick.
So we're watching this on Peacock. I would have absolutely loved to have some VHS tapes to watch this stuff just to catch the commercials in the middle of it. But thank goodness Peacock, which mind you, there was Hogan showed up next, which he's in every other segment on WCW. It just happens. But we did get the traditional snap into a Slim Jim Macho Man commercial.
Yeah.
And he's just in the legendary garb and everything. What a commercial. Like, as a kid, I was like, I want some of that processed meat stick in and around my lips.
It was like later on with the whole Sting and I think it was Sprite.
Yep.
Yeah, the wrestling ring and no. Those were the good old days, man.
Yeah, what a guy that he's a guy that just rings his own bell, right? Like if anybody was going to pop for Savage, Savage was going to pop for Savage. He was going to be his biggest, like, just everything. And then the next match was Kurosawa and I don't remember his name.
Sergeant Craig Pittman.
Is it Greg Pittman? Either way, I started off and I was like, man, this match blows. And by the end of it, I was like, damn, that was a good match. That was a New Japan style match. I liked it. I was shooken.
I believe it that those were New Japan guys to begin with.
I think he was a New Japan guy. Either way, that's really where like my intro to like the high pay or the fast paced wrestling kind of came into it was that. And this was one of the probably the only like match, the second match in this whole thing after the Brian Pillman match that was the first one, where we really got that high energy wrestling. And I'm here for it. I enjoyed that match. Looking back on it, I even wrote, I was like, I don't know what this match is, but it sucks. And then I was like, correction, doesn't suck. Doesn't suck. Got better.
It's just like one of those that they're just like, okay, let's throw this shit to the wall and see if it sticks.
Speaking of throwing shit to the wall and seeing if it sticks, we've got Arn Anderson with Brian Pillman Jr. after that. And this is a continuation of a feud that went on for a little while. Arn Anderson's windbreaker game is top notch. It is my grandmother is the only one that held a candle to Arn Anderson in the world of windbreakers. And it's purely because she had like the sequined ones with like the matching pants and everything. But Arn's, if I pulled up to a poker table or I walked into a bar and that guy's playing Keno, I ain't sitting near him. Like I'm going to ruin his fucking juju. Even if he's losing, I'm going to ruin it. And I don't want to be near it because I feel like look, we saw what he did in AEW. Like he was like, Cody, pull a gun on somebody. And Cody's like, I don't think I should pull a gun on him. He's like, pull a gun on him.
Oh, his spine buster though. Oh,
what a great thing.
mm-hmm.
We get an advertisement for WCW Saturday Night telling us that Dusty's going to make his debut on it. We don't do Saturday Night here. We're not allowed to. It was bedtime by that point. Don't even know.
I don't even think I remember watching Saturday Night when I was a kid.
I couldn't tell you if I've ever seen an episode of WCW Saturday Night. Thunder, yes. Saturday Night, no.
Oh, yeah. Well, Thunder wasn't until later, but no.
Yeah,
Saturday Night, the only time I stayed up late for wrestling was a pay-per-view.
My next note here is Kevin Sullivan. I just really don't care for Kevin Sullivan. I didn't like the Taskmaster thing. And it was a product of once again, it was a product of its time. It was like that new generation shit that WWF was doing it was doing around that same time. And you got all these like goofball fucking characters that I don't care. The Zodiac and Kevin Sullivan. And then like the only redeemable person in the entire thing was the Giant. Which, by the way, that choke slam. What's up, Trev?
Yeah. No, well, you cut out for a minute. But Kevin Sullivan had way too many gimmicks.
He was the Taskmaster.
He was the Games Master. He was Johnny West, Kevin Cardwell, Kevin Sullivan, Mask Lucifer, Taskmaster, the Master, and the Wizard.
Mm-hmm. And then we saw him at Ring of Honor when he golden spiked BJ, whatever that guy's name is, the one that I can't stand. BJ Whitmer. Spiked him.
Oh, I knew that name as soon as it tried to come out of your mouth, which is gonna be like
I almost said
that.
I almost said BJ Penn, and I'm like, BJ Penn was never a Ring of Honor. I don't think he wrestled ever, not like pro wrestling. Anyway, yeah. So that choke slam though that the Giant had early on, and that's a note honestly that I had on both episodes of this. What a fantastic maneuver that was. He used to do, and that's probably why his knees are fucked, because he would bring them up and then he would go down to his knees with them and just drive them into the canvas. He was such an athletic big man. Like, you can tell why he was the talk of the town back in the day. Also, him in the monster truck was just hilarious, because most guys in monster trucks are tiny, but he would like hang his arm out of the side and his arms like massive and hanging down. Oh, man. I remember the Giant was so fucking cool. He was so fucking cool as a kid. Captain
Yeah, it was to
Insano.
the point that even when he stuck his hand out the window, he sticks his arm out the window, and he's just like, "Oh, yeah, I can just touch the bottom of the truck."
Fucking crazy. The other thing that was wild to me is, you remember how big Lex Luger was, right? Like, just a mountain of a man, right? Like, he was like 6'6", fucking chiseled. He looked like he was just small even compared to the Giant. It is wild at how big that guy was. Like, at the time, is absolutely insane how big he was. And I think as a kid, I was like, yeah, there's no way anybody's that big. That's like that. He's a superhero or a villain, I guess, at the time, but like, he's not real. Like, I was like, there's no way. That's a creation of something else.
I don't even know the words. I don't got the words. When he came
Like,
onto the scene,
yeah.
No, when he came onto the scene, it was just like, everybody knew about Andre the Giant, but then WCW tried to play him off as Andre's son. I mean, it kind of worked, but at the same time, at least Paul White went to build his own character.
Right. I mean, he was able to have a 25 plus year career after that, which is insane for a gentleman of his stature. But obviously, there was trials, tribulations. Stuff went uphill. Stuff was really bad for a little while there. I know his weight got out of control. He had to have surgeries, and then he he kicked ass to get back in shape and stuff. Most recently appeared on one of the Long Island vignettes with MJF and Adam Cole. But to see his career trajectory from that time is why, as a kid, like, I think about it this way: people back in the 70s, when Andre, like, I guess 60s technically, when Andre started wrestling, that had to be how they felt. And as a kid, I didn't know who Andre was because I hadn't seen those videos yet. I don't think I watched a taped WrestleMania with like Andre on it until I was like 7 or 8, probably around the time I first saw Princess Bride. So I didn't know who Andre was. And then I found out who Andre was with that movie. But up to that point, the Giant was that. That was it. That was it for me. It was just a larger than life character. And it's weird that like that's the one consistent from WCW that's kind of always been there. And we make jokes about his heel and his face turns and stuff, but he's always been there. Like, I would just ride his back off into the sunset. He probably would not approve of that, but like, it might be a thing.
Yeah.
Trev, there was one really important thing that happened at the end of this episode, and can you tell me what it was?
Wait, say it again.
There was one really important thing that happened at the end of this episode, and I wonder if you can tell me what it is.
That's a good. Well, it was you had Ming versus Lex Luger.
Okay, we're getting close there. It's something to do with Meng.
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
His fucking mullet. Meng's mullet is magnificent. Meng's magnificent mullet. We're getting down with some alliteration here, baby.
Yeah, I do not know what's going on with your internet tonight, man. But
is it just that bad? That's unfortunate.
Yeah, like I mean, it's unfortunate. It's like it seems like me and you are just running into like the whole this stuff shouldn't be happening kind of routine.
Yeah, I mean after that. All right, let's move on to episode 5.
Oh, which for episode 4, dark matches that were not aired was the Shark versus defeated Mark Starr. The American Males, who are the tag team champions, defeated Harlem Heat, and then Johnny B. Bad defeated Diamond Dallas Page by DQ.
Oh, okay. Some Mark Marrow love there.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves Mark Marrow except Sable because she left him for Brock Lesnar. Ooh, shit.
You know what? Hold on. Actually, yeah, it's I hope this is right.
What did you? Oh no. Crickets. Oh boy.
Actually, no, it was this one.
There we are.
I mean,
can we talk about something that sound applies to as well?
What's that?
Everything that Mongo McMichael put that fucking dog through. I can't deal with you in the sound effects. I'm gonna drive over there and take your board away. Hey everybody, he lives at 1679 West Walnut Street. That's 1679 West Walnut Street, Garden City, Michigan. It's behind a Papa John's. Go find him.
I mean,
and take that thing away.
I mean, at least I'm not playing like the new ones that.
That's fair. I have a question for you. So, episode 5 took place in Detroit. Was your dad there? Were you there?
No. So we weren't at that one. Actually, episode 5 didn't take place at Detroit. Episode 5 took place in Denver because they came to Detroit for Halloween Havoc.
That year, the Halloween Havoc that year?
Yeah, because the monster truck duel was on top of the Silver Dome.
Huh. Maybe it was wow.
Yeah,
I gotta listen to stuff better when I like write my stuff down, because I heard them say something about live in Detroit, Michigan, and I was like, show was in Detroit. Looks like Kobo. Fuck it, it's Kobo.
Yeah, no, it was no, so Halloween Havoc took place in Detroit. It was the monster truck match between Hulk Hogan and the Giant. It was on top of the Pontiac Silverdome. No, it was on top of Kobo. Excuse me. And that's when Hulk Hogan pushed the Giant off the edge, and then mysteriously for the final match, here comes the Giant just walking down the aisle, no bandages or nothing.
You know what I think this tells me we're going to need to do? I think we're going to have to watch Halloween Havoc for this year, considering, well, we're filming this in the month of October.
I think we're going to have to do a Halloween edition.
I think we're going to have to watch Halloween Havoc, guys. Look, we would tell you about what's going on in episode 5. Basically, what happens is the Giant has a killer choke slam. Eddie Guerrero looks like he's 40 while he's actually 26 years old. Fantastic match against Dean Malenko, by the way. Go back and watch it. It's one of the early matches from WCW that is hands down worth watching. Kevin Sullivan dressed up like an old woman because, once again, why not? Andy shaved off Hulk Hogan's mustache in this one. And then we get back to this whole thing with Arn Anderson and Ric Flair, but then Pillman is with them, and it was not a good match.
No, it wasn't.
It was two guys that were winded, which is weird because usually Arn, like, he looked blown up, but he was always able to go. And Flair usually would go for a long time. Man, they must have had a hard night the night before.
It was 8 minutes and 17 seconds of just
Yeah, it wasn't good. And that's what finished the show out. That's the crazy thing. What were the dark matches for that one, Trev?
Dark matches was Brian Pillman defeating Disco Inferno. Good. Somebody
Hell
defeated
yeah.
Disco Inferno. The Dungeon of Doom, which was Ming and the Shark, defeating Jim Duggan and the Renegade. And then you also had the dark match, which was Diamond Dallas Page, who was the TV champion at the time, defeated Alex Wright.
Oh, well, shit. I would have liked to watch that.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, damn, that's really unfortunate that wasn't televised. I'm sure that was a lot better than some of the shit they put on TV on this episode.
Really, they should have took the DDP versus Alex Wright and made that the final match and put Ric Flair versus Arn Anderson as the dark match.
I agree, but it's Rick. You know, at the time that was going to get people on to watch the television show. So, Trev, we're 5 episodes into this now. Not 5 of these episodes, but 5 WCW episodes into this. How is it stacking up? How is WCW Monday Nitro stacking up to what you remember as a kid?
What the hell was I watching when I was a kid? It really didn't get interesting until, I hate to say it, it didn't get interesting until the NWO. Yeah, exactly. It didn't get interesting until you saw Scott Hall show up, give his speech, and then you were wondering what the hell was going on.
That might be the single great. You know, you always hear about what's the single greatest moment in wrestling. I think that might be the only moment that you can look at and go, that both saved and destroyed professional wrestling.
Yeah, no, it did.
Because it removed that like level of disbelief from wrestling, like just a little bit, but it also did so much to catapult pro wrestling for the next 3 years, 4 years,
83 weeks.
Well, and that's just what WC did. That's just the WCW time that they were running. We can't, you know, we can't look past what WWF was putting on television at the time, because without that moment, we don't get that Vince McMahon speech when he comes out, and it's got the back, or was that the background with the chains and the kendo stick and stuff, or no, that was just the background was like uplit or whatever, and he was like, professional wrestling, blah 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 blah, well, real product, blah 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 blah. So whatever, it's one of those moments, but I'm with you. I'm hoping that the next 5 start to pick up, maybe the next 10 start to pick up, because the cool thing is, after we get about another 20 episodes into this, we're getting dangerously close to the NWO.
We are. And one thing that we're going to be promising, hopefully, is our own intro.
Yep. Yeah, we're working on that. We might have to reach out to somebody on Fiverr, or one of us will do it, or whatever, but we'll get it. But we are, as you know, on both On a Forklift, and we are on World Championship Records. We forgot to plug them at the beginning of the thing, and we apologize to Dad Hat and all the guys over there. If you're watching this on a Forklift, please subscribe, pay attention every Thursday night at 9 p.m. We will be live bringing you Michigan independent wrestling coverage. And if you're watching this on World Championship Records, then you know of all the great shows that happen over there on that channel, the Wrecking Crew podcast, and all of them are also at, well, not all of them, I don't know, most of them are on the Wolfpack Wednesday nights. So check that out as well. That's on Twitch. We're on YouTube. And for this episode of Monday Night Madness, I have been the Hoochie Daddy, Ethan James, and my esteemed colleague,
the Mr. Low-Key Big Hog himself, the Mac Daddy, Trevor at DJT Rev 24.
Book him, ladies and gentlemen. The man needs money. He's got things to feed.
Hold on. There you go.